Hey everybody, this is TinTim, that is T-I-N as in T-I-M as in I'm gonna make this really quick because I'm on my way to a show, which is why I'm in face, yay, finally for my very last video of the season, of season 6. And so yeah, I'm America's terminally insightful drag queen public intellectual, aka the Cornell motherfucking West of drag, coming to you with my thoughts on the very end of season 6. I want to apologize to you for being missing MIA for a few episodes in between there. I think the last one I covered was Ben de la Creme's elimination. So real quick, the final 4 episode was, I would say, the one where I finally fell in love completely with Darian Lake. You know, maybe just because of the shenanigans the producers were up to in the edit with her and Ben de la Creme. Somehow it was like to really fully appreciate her, De La had to be out of the picture for them to really give her, I thought, you know, like a moment for us to really see like what was special. And what I really especially liked was you know, I'm a huge fan of Valley of the Dolls, which I thought was a clear and obvious influence on the scenes that they did, the takes they did for this year's music video. And I thought of the girls, Darian Lake was the one that to me brought the most kind of Neely O'Hara realness, right? Like, it was over the top, it was funny, it was silly, but there was also this level of genuine feeling to it. You know, I love that she pushed it so far and had so much need and emotion and over-the-topness, but there was like an element of authenticity to that. That's part of what makes camp so great to me, is that they are trying to be serious, even as it's kind of too much, right? So I liked that, and I felt like, in a weird way, it felt like the episode was the narrative was being constructed to eliminate Courtney at the end, not Darian, and have Darian be this surprise entry into the final 3. That didn't happen, but I realized by the end of it that I would have been okay if it had. And I already had started constructing, oh, tomorrow in my video I'm going to talk about how this is like, you know, the triumph of the, you know, the triumph of the big regional queen, the, you know, who always gets shat on this show, right? Like, this is, you know, the pork chops and the, not that Darian is anything like pork chop, really, but you know what I mean? Like that, she's that local veteran, kind of queen who, you know, knows what the fuck she's doing from all of these years in the biz, but, you know, her style is sometimes not seen within the context of this show as one that can, like, play as America's Next Drag Superstar on that national stage, and things were kind of up and down with Darian's runway, although I thought that there were some moments that were strong. But be that as it may, yeah, I would have been totally okay with it. And it was weird to me that it was like they didn't know what to do with Courtney's story all season, right? Like, everyone keeps saying Courtney got like a weird kind of edit. It was sort of a villain edit, but not really, right? Like it seemed like it wasn't clear what story they wanted to tell with her. And I think maybe it was that Courtney didn't give them that much material to go on, because she is such a professional and she's used to being on camera, that she was just kind of in, you know, focused camera mode, like totally telegenic, but not with the kind of expressing the kind of like immediate emotion that someone who maybe is appearing on television for the first time and like is doing this reality show and is all, you know, would show. And so I am, you know, obviously Courtney's a very talented person and deserves to be in the top 3, but the story sort of didn't build toward that. So there was always this weirdness with her where it was sort of neither here nor there, you know, and it was especially weird to me that she kept, you know, not taking the note that they gave her, you know, that her final speech in that final 4 episode, her, like, about why she should be America's Next Drag America's Next Drag Superstar was all about how she was already Australia's, and so should bring that here. It's sort of the opposite of what they said they wanted to see from her in a way, right? And so it was funny to me that she got pushed through despite not having any sort of conversion come to Jesus-y moment like they like to have for their queens. So it almost made me wonder, and I I don't like to engage in like over-the-top sort of conspiracy theories. I think it's more interesting and less ridiculous just to talk about what's in front of us and what we actually do see and experience. But it almost made me wonder if, when they brought her on, because she is someone with an established media career, I would imagine probably has like an agent and folks who represent her. It did make me wonder if, you know, maybe unlike some of the other queens, when they signed, you know, brought Courtney on to do the show, they actually made a commitment to her that she would be in a certain number of episodes or get a certain take, because, you know, they do get paid by the episode to be on the show. You know, maybe that's true, maybe it's not. It was just a thought that I had for a moment where it was like, it seems like they don't want her here, and yet she still is. But I think, like I said, doesn't mean she didn't deserve to be there. That's not. It's more that the story didn't lead to her being there. The recap clip episode, I did not enjoy this as much as last year's. I like the concept of let's do a VH1 countdown shit type show and satire that seems good on paper, but something about it was just not working. What I did thought worked brilliantly throughout the entire time was Alaska Thunderfuck. I felt like she owned the whole show, and it may as well have been like Alaska's commentary on season 6. I remembered very little else, maybe because I blocked out some of the other parts, including maybe a part involving someone that Alaska used to be in a relationship with, but we won't go there. That's all I think I want to say about the recap ep. And then finally the finale, la la la. You know, it's always hard to come up with what to say about these since the new style, the live style, I don't know why I'm doing air quotes, that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. The live style of the reunions is, you know, doesn't sort of give you a lot to kind of talk about because it feels so sort of staged and kind of pageant-y, and everything is sort of predictable, and everyone gets their one line in about the thing that they were memorable for that season, and it's sort of like, well, what do I react to? And, you know. But one thing that I was thinking about this year, I enjoy them a little more each year, and I find myself mourning and feeling sad about the loss of the traditional reunion style, intimate studio reunions. I find myself missing them a little bit less each year, and I think it's because over time you just start to accept what it is, and I'm also realizing, I think, what this format is good for, and that is like, you don't get those intimate, cathartic, you know, really emotional character moments that you get when you have them in a studio filming off the cuff all day and confronting all their old stuff, because instead they spend their whole day in a theater rehearsing the same shtick over and over again, right? So you don't get those intense emotional catharsis type moments, although it was interesting how they tried to shoehorn that one in this year with Laganja and Adore, and it ended up not working at all and being totally awkward and uncomfortable. But you don't get those moments, but I think what you do get is it's good for comedy, it's good for that sort of theater, and it really shows you which queens are good at being kind of, even though I think they do prepare a lot of what they say, it still shows you which queens are good at being kind of off-the-cuff personality and funny in front of a live audience in a way that other formats don't. You know, all three of our final three were people who were really good at, because I think that's something that's required of America's Next Drag Superstar, is to be a certain kind of personality and presence as a public figure, and I think this is a good test of that. And I thought that actually Adore was especially good at that in this episode. If Bianca won the in-studio Why I Should Be America's Next Drag Superstar speech, which I totally think she did, then I felt like Adore sort of won that moment. Although Bianca was absolutely funny, and the Lady Bunny jokes were brilliant, and you know, I don't remember exactly what it was about Adore's, but it was like that charm they keep praising her for, which I've always thought is kind of an unfair word, because it's not just that she's charming, it's that it's smart and quick and funny too. But it was serving her really well in that moment. When they went through the final three, and I thought she just left a great final impression in terms of you know, why she deserved to be there personality-wise, and just sort of her stature and presence or something. But Bianca, totally deserving of the win, and didn't bother me one bit, even though we were sort of predicting it all season. It was still satisfying and still, you know, all of that. So congratulations to Bianca Del Rio. And I think that is all I have to say about season 6. Thank you for sticking with me all season, even though I was a little bit sporadic in my postings and doing them all out of faith. But it was nice to, and not editing them, so you had to put up with like 15 minutes of bullshit. But it was nice to know that those of you who are really here because you like to hear from me will follow me no matter what that format is. And that means a lot, and I love all of you, and the fans of this show are so awesome. So that is all I have for you now. Much love to you all. Mwah.